Organic search is a great way to get customers to your site because they have a specific interest and hopefully they want to buy. But how is organic search doing lately? What are the latest trends? Let's take a look at some data. Hi, I'm Daniel Burstein, Director of Editorial Content at Marketing Sherpa. We're here at the Marketing Sherpa Media Center at IRCE, and joining me now is Ryan Gibson from the EVP of Marketing Strategy at Merkle. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you brought a chart with some data here, and tell us, how did you come about this data?
So this data comes from our digital marketing report. We do this at the end of every quarter. So basically this is data that we pull from, primarily from retail advertisers that we're managing, and that we've managed for a minimum of, I believe it's basically a year and a half, so you get nice consistent data there. And what we've seen so far from our data, we've been doing this for several years, it does tend to correlate nicely with what we tend to see in the industry from Google.
Okay. Well, and something here that's, we've heard about the growth in organic visits for many years, and we can see that's how things start out on the left, especially for mobile devices. But really, for all the different devices, organic search visits are down. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because when you look at just a snapshot of organic traffic, it's a little bit deceptive. It does look like it's down, which is true. But I think part of that is not a change in necessarily where consumers are searching. I think it's a change in how the search engines are monetizing that traffic. So I think that when you one of the things you'll probably notice is when you go on your mobile device, for example, there is a limited amount of landscape there to put ads against, and that's obviously how the search engines do make their money. And so you'll see that those ads are more present at the top. They do a lot now with mobile phones. There's a lot of local interests, so the search engines are putting local information up there at the top, so it kind of tends to push down some of the organic listings.
Sometimes they're not even on the screen. You got to swipe down.
Yeah, exactly, and we're seeing that across devices, right? They're more and more. Google recently made some changes that actually removed some right-hand rail ads on from the desktop perspective, moving an additional spot into the top of the search listings, so again, further pushing those organic listings down, kind of further perpetuating this apparent shrink in organic clicks. People just don't scroll down as far anymore.
Okay, so so essentially we have to compete with Google, right? People go to that SERP, they go to that search engine results page, they're looking for something, they have a choice of where to click. They can click on one of Google's ad, they can click on one of our organic listings. So what can we do to make our organic listings more appealing?
Yeah, so ultimately there's a couple of things. One, you want to make sure that Google can understand everything that's happening on the site. So make sure you have a technically sound site. You want to be able to make sure that Google can understand what's happening. Google and search engines want to understand, they want to be able to see the site as the user sees it. We've found that Google can actually render a lot of technical features on a site that a human user might use through JavaScript, right? So the Google spiders, if you will, are pretty smart and understand what the user sees versus what you're serving to them. So you want to make sure that's consistent. More importantly then is that once you make sure that the search engines can see everything on the site and have access to it, you want to have information that's compelling to the users. Google and Bing and Yahoo are good at understanding what the consumers want and are trying to get better at that every day. And so making sure that you have compelling content and information that your customers want is going to help you to get seen in those limited spots.
And then they get clicked, right?
Yeah, you get clicked, exactly. So It's all about being present and being visible for discovery. I think the other component too that you have to mention from a technical standpoint, we're impatient as consumers, right? So speed is a key component now too, for really making sure that you have a site that renders quickly and cleanly on any type of device, no matter where someone's searching. You really want to make sure that you have that because the search engines are going to be taking that into account in their organic ratings. So if you want to be visible and be available for those clicks, you really have to have a quick site.
Okay. Now the e-commerce retailers that have primarily relied on organic search and has been very effective, should they look at maybe investing a little more in paid if, hey, Google's stacking the deck on a lot more paid ads at the top?
Yeah, I think that has to be part of your marketing mix, right? And you have to be smart about it. You have to think about what are the types of terms that your customers are searching on and making sure you're present for those. Obviously, you have to make sure that you're spending in a way that makes sense for you and that you're getting the return on those ads. I think one piece is product listing ads for retailers are huge. We see in some cases we'll see product listing ads that are 60 to 70% of non-brand clicks for a retailer, particularly hard goods like consumer electronics and sporting goods. So you really need to make sure that you're in that space, because those are very attractive ads for consumers. Pushing the organic down, but you want to make sure that you're there and visible for when people are doing those product-based searches.
And if you have a physical location, does local play into that too?
Yeah, exactly. There's local inventory ads. So if you have brick and mortar locations, you want to make sure all that information is updated with the search engines, and then you're promoting local inventory. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of retailers are focused around now, is making sure that they are able to deliver in a timely fashion that locally available inventory. Because ultimately, if you and I are on our mobile phones and we're out shopping, we want to find something near us. Typically, if we're on the mobile device, right?
As you said, we're impatient.
Yes, exactly, and so if we can go into a store and get it, you're much more likely to capture that wallet share of that customer than if they have to wait a day or two for shipping.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by, Ryan, and sharing some data.
Thanks for having me, Daniel. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. You can find some more search engine marketing tips as well as e-commerce tips at marketingsherpa.com/IRCE.